We are back with Colts franchise. We are now in week 9. We're going to look at the weekly awards. I kind of skipped over that last time. And we do have Aaron Rodgers and Darius Leonard for week 7. And if we go down to last week, Saunders and Darius Leonard both got awards. Saunders really stepping up in that backup role once Jonathan Taylor went down. Now, if we get out of here, we can look if it loads. We have some stats and awards that I want to look at, see how Darius Leonard is doing because he's been picking up some weekly awards. So looking at the yearly awards, we have Jonathan Taylor at number 2 for MVP, a couple other names there. Jonathan Taylor is Offensive Player of the Year, but Darius Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year. And Wyndham is Offensive Rookie of the Year, our fullback. Saunders is there at number 2, so must be a kind of weak offensive rookie class. Looking at some of the other awards, Jonathan Taylor, Best Running Back. Quentin Nelson, Best Lineman. Darius Leonard, Best Linebacker. So we're doing pretty well on the award front. No surprise considering we are undefeated. Now looking at players ready to negotiate, we have a couple players who played themselves into a contract. First off, it is Saunders. He really stepped up big time. I think he's going to be an RB2. And have maybe Nyheim Hines stick into his role no matter what happens. So if somebody goes down, we will have Nyheim Hines as a third down receiving back. But now Saunders will kind of step up to that RB1. Another name is DJ Chark Jr., who has really stepped up these last couple weeks, especially last week. I think he played really well. And I think out of the 2 receivers, him and Pittman, he's the one deserving. So we do re-sign him there. Malik Harrison is somebody to consider with the new dev trait upgrade, but just not quite yet. We have other linebackers that we've invested a lot of money in. Getting into weekly training, we are going to focus on their 2 superstars, Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett. In terms of kind of our goal, we're going to think about running and just kind of controlling this ball. I think it would be really key for us to not only control time possession, but also how many possessions we have. We have the number 1 offense. We have the number 1 defense. Let's use that to our advantage. Now we are simming. Hopefully we can get out of here with no injuries once again. Looking at the offense, it appears that we do not have any injuries. And on defense here, we have an ACL sprain for Davion Taylor, so a backup linebacker. Not a huge deal, but still, don't like to see practice injuries. One last thing before we get into the game, we're going to look at the roster. Oh, I lied. I clicked the wrong thing. We're going to look at some upgrades. So Connor Williams has an upgrade. Malik Harrison has an upgrade after that big performance by him. He did not get the XP trigger, so seeing him still get an upgrade is nice, but we probably could have had a lot more for him. Alonzo Pearson, zone. We're putting a lot into his zone, his 2 years in this league. And I think it's pretty high up there now. Hitting 74. Could maybe transition to safety one day. Deo has an upgrade. Not a huge role player. We did see him make a play a little while ago. Davion Taylor, who is injured, still getting better though. Even on days he can't play, he's getting better. Like to see that. Michael Thurman getting power, and same thing here. He's been developing. We're trying to get our O-linemen are really developmental for us. Our backup O-linemen are both very developmental people. Not both, but all of them are really developmental. But who isn't is Quentin Nelson, who has maxed out power. We're getting close to maxed out pass protector. Gets a pass block finesse and a pass block power superstar. Our best lineman easily. Now, for real this time, we are going to look at the roster. Adjusting the depth chart there. Or not adjusting, you know what I mean. We're looking at the depth chart for the Browns. At quarterback, they do have Baker Mayfield, running back Nick Chubb, and Vaughn Whiteside. Andy Janovich at fullback. Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Lucas Klein, Austin Hooper, Harrison Bryant, Justin Chamberlain, Joel Bitonio, Connor McGovern, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin, Myles Garrett, Keon Sloan, Grover Stewart, who we traded, Sheldon Rankins, Melvin Fry, Anthony Walker Jr., Leslie Norwood, JOK, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, Bless Austin, who I believe we might have also traded to him, John Johnson, and at safety, Ronnie Harrison Jr. They got a kicker. They own one. They also have a punter. We never really look at them. Getting to the game now. So we kick off to start this one. And it is going to be a kneel down. So getting into the first drive. Baker Mayfield coming out. See how he can do. Obviously just got traded in real life, but he's still with the Browns. And so we're going to kind of see what he's doing. Drops back to pass. And in wide open is Austin Hooper. Now 2nd and 9. Rolling out. And there it is. Montez Sweat. 3rd and 9. Let's see what they can do here. Running back is a little open, and he just outruns us. We had that covered, and he was just able to outrun us. Now 1st and 10. Going to come up and make the tackle, and that is prospective defensive player of the year, Darius Leonard. Now we got a little bit of coverage. Don't really know what to do there, but we got the running back covered, and there's just so much time. You know, when you have that much time, you can't even blame it on the secondary. I mean, that's really a D lineman issue. Passing it out is Austin Hooper. He cuts up, and he gets the first. Now, oh, he doesn't. 2nd and 1 from the 4, and that's a TFL. Another one. All right, 3rd and 2. You know, we kind of had it covered there. We thought we might have been able to do some things, and he scores. Aaron Rodgers dropping back, and he is able to hit Paris Campbell on a really, really difficult catch. Now running it with Jonathan Taylor. He's able to get a gigantic gain on his first carry of the game. Now dumping it off there to J.P. Evans. He's played well since returning. Jonathan Taylor with a minimal gain. All right, dropping back one more time. And that's Nyheim Hines wide open, able to leak out of the backfield and get a big gain. And now a sack for Myles Garrett. We knew he was going to be an issue. We just have to try to avoid him. Right there. Michael Pittman, again, he's kind of our touchdown machine this year. He's played really well. 1st and 10 from the 28 for the Browns. And it's just a good play. He has good route running. We know who he is. We just can't stop it. And we got walled off there. And now Nick Chubb is off to the races at the 20, the 10, and he runs out of bounds. 2nd and goal from the 4 now. We try to blitz. It doesn't work for our blitzer, but Brooks gets his first sack. And now passing in the back of the end zone. That's Donovan Peoples-Jones for the touchdown. Down 7, the Colts run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. Another big gain. Nothing new for him. And now 1st and 10. Out of the backfield again is Nyheim Hines. He gets a pretty good gain. Running it with Nyheim Hines again. He's getting a lot of touches. And if he keeps doing stuff like that, he will get many more. 2nd and goal. Rolling out is Rodgers, running up the middle. And that is a touchdown. All right, 1st and 10, dropping back. That's a good catch. Double coverage. I really don't know how that happened, but a good catch for him. All righty. Dropping back once again. And that's more pressure. No sacks yet for Montez Sweat, but he has been getting pressure today. We like to see that. All right, we had the coverage there. It was a tight window to fit it in, but Baker's able to do it. Now they have a 2nd and 7 to the outside. Big hit, forces the fumble, but it does roll out of bounds, and that ends up stalling the drive a little bit. Alrighty, trying to go deep here. Don't get it, but that is a pass interference, so we get up. Running it with Jonathan Taylor, get a pretty good gain there. You like to see it. Now, again, leaking out of the backfield. Our running backs get a lot of involvement today. Getting up to the 9-yard line. Running with Jonathan Taylor, able to weave through the traffic and get the score. Now running to the outside is Nick Chubb. Breaks a tackle, able to get up. And luckily, our safety and our corner is able to get him down. And that's just wide open. That's just wide open. That's all you can say about that one. Up the sideline. We're passing it here. JP Evans gets a pretty big gain on this one. Next play, we see him wide open is Nyheim Hines. Like I said, getting a lot of work in this game. Now Rodgers able to dump it off again to JP Evans. That's another flag. It was unnecessary roughness, so we're set up really well and able to throw it to Njoku is Aaron Rodgers. Now after stalling out on their drive, we have the ball back before half, and we see him wide open is DJ Chark, able to get a little bit of a step there. Now throwing it again, rolling out, and look at him. Njoku, we're just extending plays today, and it's working for us. And we like to really just see that. We like to see Aaron Rodgers still being mobile, and now we're going to pass it. And it is a sack. Another sack on the day. Now rolling out, trying to get mobile. We see him coming open. We pass to JP Evans, who extends his arm for the touchdown. Now after a few stalls to start, the Browns are kind of driving, but Duval gets the sack. They end up punting. We get the ball in our one. We run it with Jonathan Taylor to get out. And here we get out of our end zone. We pass it to who else but JP Evans to help us get a decent drive going. Pass it there to Njoku. Now running it with Jonathan Taylor. Hits the outside and is able to get the first down. Seeing surveying, rolling out. We see a little bit of a dump off there. Nyheim Hines again. Really big game from him. Nice to see Jonathan Taylor looked a little wide open, but we go to JP Evans, kind of forcing it there. Interception. Evans is running him down. This is Bless Austin, so doesn't have the most speed out of any corner, but we are unable to tackle him. That is a pick six. Now rolling out, we see him kind of open, but JP Evans not able to catch the ball. So we try to get to him a different way with a play action. Doesn't really work, but the big thing on that play is Aaron Rodgers was injured. He came back into the game. Getting it to our running backs was the key to this game. We get it through the air. We did it on the ground. Now another pass for Rodgers. He is sacked there. Fumbles, which you think would be the worst, but no. If you see Rodgers is holding his back and he is injured, he would not return. So now the Browns have the ball, and we think we have the interception to win us this game, but we drop it. And so now they have the opportunity. They throw it to DPJ. Now 1st and 10. All the time in the world. And again, this was a couple times where our pass rush just couldn't get past the Browns O-line. They have a decent one, probably better than average, and it's showing. Now we are looking 2nd and 4. They pass it to the outside. That's Jarvis Landry. That is his bread and butter. Now from the 22, they pass it wide open is Jarvis Landry once again. And Nick Chubb is going to be hard to stop here, and he shows why. Stiff arms and then dives in. Now we have the ball, running it with Jonathan Taylor. We have to rely on Sam Ehlinger to win us this game, and that's not going to do it. A open JP Evans is just missed wide. Now the Browns have an opportunity to win the game, and they're starting off really well with that Nick Chubb run. 2nd and 6. Again, a lot of time, but this time it runs out, and finally we get a sack from Montez Sweat. 3rd and 13. Big 3rd down in this game. And he throws it short. Unable to get the first as we come up and make a tackle. We're going to get the ball with 2:01 remaining and a chance to win the game. We're going to rely heavily on Jonathan Taylor, but we're also going to get some passes in for Sam Ehlinger. You know, he led us to some big wins last year, so hopefully he can do it again. And look at that, threading the needle. That's Njoku, and at the end, a face mask changes the entire landscape of this drive. So we're going to run it again with Jonathan Taylor, hopefully able to run out this clock with no timeouts. We run it up. Looks like Jonathan Taylor is going to score, but he gets stopped at the 1, and a few plays later, 1 second left, we're going to kick that field goal. And we are going to win this game 38-35. Without Aaron Rodgers, we keep our undefeated season alive. Let's look at the stats. Okay, looking at the stats, Aaron Rodgers, 26 for 33, 298, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Sam Ehlinger also had a pretty decent thing, 85.4 passer rating, only 27 yards, but he did what he needed to, and he got us the win. Rushing, Jonathan Taylor had almost 200 yards, a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers also had a touchdown, but he did have some fumbles today that were a little worrying. Naheem Hines got a lot of work. Wyndham, we tried to get him a touchdown, did not work. For yards, Njoku, big game. J.P. Evans, big game. Naheem Hines, big game. Our running backs really helped us out today. In terms of tackles, Okereke with 12, Kenny Moore with 10, and TFLs, Okereke with 2, Darius Leonard with 1, Malik Harrison with 1. A sack for Montez Sweat, Duval, and Cedric Brooks. No picks today, but we did have a forced fumble by Okereke, but we did not recover it. Overall, a great game. Let's see if we have upgrades. So looking at the upgrades, we do have Naheem Hines here. Like I was saying the whole episode, he had a big game. We're going to keep going to the receiving back. That's really where he shined today. And he gets some decent upgrades, nothing huge, but overall it was a great performance by him. We do have a media question to answer. They are asking about 8-0, asking if we feel like the best team. And I think we kind of do, but we need to think about the playoffs. We need to think about the Super Bowl. That's what we want. So we got to keep winning to keep fans interested. Going to the next week, we're going to be playing the Titans, who are 1-7, so not a huge worry for us. Peace out.